My name is Tanya Hilton. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in February 2015. I had radiation, 6 to 7 weeks of radiation, and I was on 5 years of tamoxifen, and I had a lumpectomy. I opted not to have a mastectomy. My surgeon was Dr. Emery Menard. My oncologist was Dr. James Ellis. My radiation oncologist was Raymond Gould. They were very patient, very caring, compassionate, really made things easy for me, explained everything to me, made me comfortable, very thorough throughout the whole treatment. Just really got me to where I am today. My family was very helpful to me. They made sure I made my appointments. They made sure I ate. They made sure everything was tidy around the house, made sure my son was taken care of. So basically, they were my support system. Believe it or not, it was my mom who passed away, I feel. I felt her through all my treatments, my surgery. I just felt her presence. And that's also definitely what kept me going. Because without her, it's like I don't know where I would be. And of course, without my family, but my mom was just there. It was just like she was just here taking care of me. I just felt so much at ease. And this is my story. I grew up on the West Bank of New Orleans in a city called Avondale. Born the 7th out of 8 children. My nickname was Cover Girl because of my infectious smile and bubbly personality. Many times I was also called the teacher's pet because I really did well in school, but as soon as I got to high school, oh boy, I was distracted with a very active social life. As an athlete, I had lots of after-school commitments and friends. My parents were very strict and protective of my siblings and me, and they were only trying to protect us from how cruel the world could be. I remember wanting to go to the school dances, and it was a big deal when my mom allowed me to go. So I took the chance and I went. Not being allowed to wear makeup or buy a new dress, I got bold once, and when I got to school gymnasium, where the dances were held, and snuck on some bright red lipstick. My mom was not happy with that. In my sophomore year, after returning from Christmas break, my father woke up with a premonition. His panicked chest pains alerted him that something might happen to my brother Chucky. That afternoon, after his shift at Avondale Shipyard, my brother came home to change his clothes. Before he went out, I was the last one in my family to see him alive in our family home. A fatal car accident took his life that day. The untimely death of my brother impacted my health tremendously. I became very depressed. I ate a lot to ease the pain. The revelation and lessons I've learned from this experience is that this made me stronger and realize that everything happens for a reason, and to never stay upset with your family or loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised, and to take the time to cherish every moment with the ones you love. After high school, I got a job at a nursing home to earn a paycheck. I knew enough to get my nursing assistance certificate. After the head nurse saw my bubbly personality in action, she encouraged me to become a real nurse. Finally, I decided to take my education seriously, and I got accepted to Charity School of Nursing, which I graduated in 1998. Getting my nursing degree was a defining moment for me. I realized then that I could accomplish anything if I put my mind to it. But being a nurse comes with knowing too much sometimes. Cervical dysplasia at 25 gave me a weak cervix. So when I was ready to have my son at 30, I was on strict bed rest. I got to see what it is to be cared for by an in-home nurse. I fought hard physically to have my son, and this made me strong. Before him, I didn't feel emotionally strong. But after giving birth to him, it strengthened me more and made me realize that I will have something to live for and to definitely smile about. 8 years later, when my mom died unexpectedly in her sleep, it gave me another layer of strength. Her loss gave me the courage to get out of my bad marriage. By this time, my son was 8 years old enough to see a mother willing to fight again for a better life for her family. Because of my dysplasia, I spent years checking my pap smears. I was surprised that it was my mammogram that came back abnormal. My first doctor suggested I wait 6 months and retest, thinking it wasn't as serious. Being a nurse and facing a breast cancer scare at 43, I knew I needed to step into gear and advocate for myself. To trust my gut and challenged my request for a biopsy. I knew I had a mother and brother angels up above, tapping me on the shoulder, encouraging me to challenge the first doctor's decision. When I sat in my new doctor's office, who had actually performed a biopsy, I could see his mouth moving, but I couldn't hear his words. "Do you know that the sucker was cancer?" he said. There was so much information for me to hear. I drove home numb. Looking back, I wish I had someone with me to hear the news, but I'm glad I didn't delay. My aggressive cancer grew 2 centimeters in 2 weeks. Had I waited 6 months to watch my tumor, I wouldn't be here to tell this story, my story. I opted not to have a mastectomy, but I agreed to have a lumpectomy, followed by radiation and 5 years of tamoxifen, which I completed on May 25th, 2020. Every time I sat for my radiation appointments, I felt my mother's presence, guarding me and helping me heal. Being an overprotective self protected me from how cruel the world can be. This is my story.